I'm going to give you the pros and cons of starting off with a cheap banjo as a beginner. So you've already started out with the banjo. You either got one for Christmas or you're looking at buying one and you're wondering, is this $250, $200, $300 banjo going to be good for me? First of all, let me start off by saying that all inexpensive banjos are not made the same. Now, there are some cheap banjos, and when I say that you can buy a cheap banjo and get by with it, I'm not talking about any cheap banjo. If you have a reputable company like a Gold Tone or Recording King, some company that you know makes good banjos, their lower end banjos are probably going to be pretty decent. The reason I say this is because this one is an RKO 3S, I think, an RKO 3S, and you can see it's a Recording King. It's a little dirty on the peg head. I bought this Recording King for $150 on Facebook Marketplace. Is it a great banjo? No, it's not. Will it make good sound and will it get in tune? Yes, it will. Something that cheaper banjos have come with the geared tuners instead of the planetary tuners. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I almost like the geared tuners better than the planetary tuners. To me, seem to stay in tune a little better when you put them in tune, where the planetary tuners kind of go way one way or way the other. Once you get it close and right there, then it's there, it gets off pretty easy. Now on this banjo here, the only thing I've upgraded, and the only reason I upgraded it, is because I wanted to try this bridge. This is a moon bridge that I bought and I put on this banjo, and this is the only upgrade I've made to it since I've had it. So the pros of getting a inexpensive banjo when you're starting out: if you get one that is a brand name like I said, a Recording King, Gold Tone, these different banjo companies that have inexpensive banjos, when you can find a Recording King or a Gold Tone or something on Facebook Marketplace for $200, $250, like I said, I paid $150 for this one. Okay, so the pros of buying a cheaper banjo is you don't spend as much money. You get to find out if you like it, if you don't like it. If you find a good reputable company like a Recording King, Gold Tone, some of these banjo companies, and you buy a cheaper banjo from that company, you know you're getting a good banjo. It may not have all the bells and whistles and certain things on it that the higher end banjos have, but you really don't need that right now. The main thing you need is a banjo that will tune up and that you can play. And in those banjo companies, you're going to find the cheaper end banjos are going to have somewhat of a truss rod that runs down through here where you can adjust the neck if you need to, and it'll have a coordinator rod in the back where you can kind of adjust your neck angle and all that good stuff if you need to. The cons of getting a cheap banjo when you're starting out is you can put usually a couple, $200 or $300 with it, that amount of money, and upgrade significantly to what you're getting for a cheap banjo. Another con is if you don't find the right banjo from the right company, if you buy a cheap banjo from a knockoff company, you will get an instrument that's not even playable. You can't even play it. Also, if you buy a cheap banjo, if you're wanting to upgrade, it's usually a waste of money to upgrade a $200 banjo to anything. You might as well put that money towards getting you just a better banjo and then upgrading that one to what you want. So my final thoughts on it is, if you can find a good brand name banjo cheaply on Facebook Marketplace, or you can just outright buy it for $200, $250 from like Guitar Center or some of the online music stores, and you're wanting to start banjo, I see no problem in doing that. Now, if you have the means to upgrade and buy a $500, $900, a $1,200 banjo starting out, then feel free to do it. I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm just saying if you're on a budget like I was when I started playing banjo, then $200 is a lot of money, and that's what I've got this right here for. Is if I didn't like it, then I'm just out $150, and I could probably turn around and sold this for $100, $125, and got most of my money back if I didn't like it. So just be cautious if you're going to buy an inexpensive banjo starting out. Research it, make sure you get a good reputable company. Go for it. There's nothing wrong with it. The banjo will last you for years and years and years, and you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And then if it later on it's time to upgrade, then you can upgrade.